if there's a connection problem. So, anything? About on YouTube?
Well, yeah.
Say again?
Yes, we're working on YouTube.
Okay. And it's saying Carla Lewis for some reason. Huh. Okay. Okay. So maybe we'll have some success with YouTube. Catch up here. Okay. Again, thank you for being with us today, and I have with me Jeff Butler, David Gross. We'd like to share with you, I guess, the things that will help you grow your business, and a couple of things before we get started. Number one is, if you're not been involved or knowledgeable, we've put out just an unbelievable sale on our SG800 printer. That's really the flagship desktop sublimation printer, and we were at the ISS Long Beach. I think you, the NBM Long Beach. I think you were there, Jeff.
I was.
How was that show?
That was a great show. Always a good time. Always a good show. Lots of good people. Get to see the same faces over and over, and everybody seems to be doing good. Business is strong.
Yep. And the second day of the show, I came up with this wild idea of sort of knocking the bottom out of the price of the SG800. And I think when I came back to the booth, I think that was a Friday, I think the folks in the booth thought I had sort of lost my mind. And the reason I did it was because I had too many people, Jeff, that were coming up to me and they were saying, you know, I can't make up my mind. Should I buy the SG400 or should I buy the SG800? And I said, well, I guess if I made the SG800 more affordable, maybe it would be an easier decision. And so I thought about it and I said, let's just do it. And so we started selling it at just an amazing price, the lowest price that I think it's ever been sold, period, at least at Conde. And called back to our headquarters here and said, you know, this is what we're going to do. And just really an amazing reaction. We have, I mean, sold truckloads of these things as of today. And one of the challenges is, when do you end this? And so I was thinking about ending it today. And when I told our sales folks about it, they really freaked out. Are we still going here?
I'm on YouTube, and I've shared YouTube to Facebook, so
Okay.
you can access.
So everybody immediately came to me and begged that I not stop the sale today. That there were a number of clients that had, you know, essentially made a commitment to buy the unit, and they were buying it shortly. So I'm going to run it a little bit longer. And one of the reasons we do this, and certainly Jeff can comment on it, is because we want you to be successful. And being successful means having good equipment. It means having a partner like Conde that's got your back, that we're going to walk you through each step. We're going to educate you with all our videos, with our resources, and we're the only folks that I'm aware of that have after-hours tech support, only folks that have weekend support. We're the only folks that have SpectraFusion color technology. I had a question today, and somebody said, what in the world is SpectraFusion color technology? It's included with each printer, free, no charge. What is it?
It is the difference between us and everybody else. So if you've been to any of our shows, excuse me, any of the trade shows, and you walk the floor and you look at the samples, we're all selling the same printer here. And so you would think that all our samples would look the same. They don't. And if you've been on the show floor, then you know this. We get comments all the time on the floor, hey, why do your samples look so much more vibrant?
All the time.
That's the number one thing. And that's exactly why, is the SpectraFusion color, the profiles, the entire coloring system. I mean, we take that stuff real seriously, and we do it right. And in turn, you get the right results, the right color, and it's unmatched. Nobody, again, same printer. It's the technology behind it that we provide that makes the difference.
So in general, what SpectraFusion is it's, if you were to go to Adobe or go to the Corel folks and ask them what is the perfect way to print to a sublimation printer, or really any specialty printer, something that does something like sublimation, because you can't look at the paper obviously and tell how it's going to turn out. You have to sublimate it. And what they would tell you is that you need to connect directly with the color engine of Adobe and of Corel. And for instance, Adobe calls their color engine ACE, and that's what our technology does. So when you print, you're going to choose our ICC profile at print time with the correct driver settings, and basically that's going to give you the best color and the best accuracy with color. Now, garbage in is still garbage out, but you're going to nail it. And the difference between that and the other solutions for using with the printer are monumental. Now, Sawgrass is a fantastic company, make a great printer, fantastic ink, and their solution is VPM for the Virtuoso Print Manager. And that is the right solution for programs that don't have color engines like Creative Studio. Creative Studio is an amazing work of art that allows someone who doesn't own professional software like Adobe and Photoshop and Corel to instantly get up to speed. But once you move into the professional domain, using products like Photoshop, Illustrator, Lightroom, InDesign, you want to take advantage of that investment. You want to plug directly into the color engine, and you do it through our SpectraFusion technology. Another big benefit is especially for the Mac folks. So the Mac folks, because we're using SpectraFusion with those programs, we can print directly to the printer. And with VPM, great piece of software, but you're going to need to save it, drop it into VPM for hot folder printing. And so that solution works, but with programs like Silhouette, it's a little bit more of a challenge because of your cut marks. So we would tell you that for people that are using professional software, use our SpectraFusion technology. It's included, it's free. For Mac folks, probably everybody should be using SpectraFusion simply because it's the direct print solution. I still would install VPM because VPM allows you to see your ink levels. VPM actually keep the printer updated with new firmware. So that's Sawgrass's method for doing that. So certainly you can install it, great to have around, but when it comes to printing, the SpectraFusion technology is going to give you the best gradients. I'm amazed at how good gradients look using SpectraFusion. So if you need more information, you can talk to any of us. We can talk to you about it. But the best price is not something we sell. We give it away.
That's right. If you want to see it, come see us in Columbus.
Yep. So we'll be at Columbus in a little bit over a week. Mr. Butler, I have given him the day off, so you will not be there. I don't know if we're going to be able to survive without you, sir.
I think you'll be good. You got a good crew.
So we do, and so the Columbus show, we've got our class, which is, I guess, that Thursday, probably at 10 o'clock. Sign up. For everybody that signs up for the class, I'm going to give you a $25 coupon. We'll have some awesome door prizes as usual. Give away an SG400. If you don't need it, you can use the credit. $250 credit, $100 credit. And then come on by the booth. See our kiosk there. It's really cool. We'll give you another coupon for just coming by the booth. And then we have a second booth. What's at the second booth, Jeff?
They're going to be coloring crazy over there. So we'll be demoing the artistry markers. I'm sure you've seen our other broadcasts where we've shown how that works. And it's always a hit at the show. They color at the booth. The second booth, bring to the kiosk. We press it, give them the sample. It's a lot of fun. Come check it out if you're in the Columbus area.
So one of the funny things is if someone is just starting out in sublimation and they don't want to buy a printer,
You don't have to.
you don't have to. You can use the markers and color. And that may seem like a silly remark, but I don't think it is. You think about all fundraisers with everything from preschools, play schools, Mother's Day out, all the cool things that you can do with the markers. I think there is an age limit on the markers.
8, maybe.
Is it 8, something, 9, something like that? And I ask, I've read the documentation for the approval. The markers are safe, but because the markers imply a heat press or a heat source is used, they establish that at 9. But the chemicals that are used in the markers are safe, kind of stuff.
You know that big jump when they turn from 8 to 9 and their brain switches to where they're able to use it. You know.
I've heard that, and that is remarkable. That's a remarkable bit of information.
Well,
there.
speaking of fundraisers, so now is the time to get in on the fundraisers. School's back. My wife is a room mother. I got the email today. Hey, it's time to start raising money. So you got silent auctions going on. That's what we're getting ready to do at our school. So she's soliciting parents in our room to put together, you know, if you have a business, put together a gift basket or a gift certificate, put together that basket, fill it up with samples, small samples, put some monograms on it, some pictures, make it look good, get it on that table in that silent auction with all your contact info. Let them know that you're not going to win a basket with somebody else's pictures on it. You're going to win a basket with your pictures on it. Raise money for those kids. You got first football game is tonight for our 6A high school team. Our stadium is concrete, and it gets rough sitting up there without a stadium cushion, which you guys should be making stadium cushions, and all those fans going to the game should be sitting on one tonight. So you got sports going on, you got fundraisers going on, fall festivals. Now is the time cheerleading, band, all of it.
So many sports going on right now.
So if you're say you're getting in, you're new to the game, you're feeling confident now's the time to get on that rapid growth curve. It's the time to jump in, spend some advertising dollars, get some free advertising, get out there, get your name out there, and get on that curve all the way through Christmas into January, February. Get yourself some rapid growth. If you've been in this game, you know how this is going to work. But it's a huge, huge opportunity. Now's the time of the year to get in there and get after it.
Yeah, and a lot of folks, we were having a debate here a couple of days ago about how many people sell into Halloween. And of course, Jeff said, "Hey, let's think about this for a second because we got so much going on in our communities with sports." But I'm a big Halloween fan. My birthday is in October, so you got that coming up, and just think about all the stuff you can do. We've got a bunch of Halloween
trick-or-treat bags,
stuff.
Halloween ornaments.
Adults that don't trick or treat still have huge parties. Everything from some favors to serving trays.
Pumpkin
to,
patch. We talked about pumpkin patch.
and everybody needs a Halloween mug, don't they?
They do.
Something like that.
And on that pumpkin patch, I believe we're writing an article now, which will be featured on our blog. Go to that pumpkin patch, get with that. You know, what does everybody do at the pumpkin patch besides buy a pumpkin? They take pictures at the pumpkin patch. So you need that picture so you can put it on something and sell it to them. Get with that. It's usually a church, nonprofit. Give back a little. Let them have some of the money. But get in there and again, get your brand out there, get a banner, some business cards, flyers, whatever. There's a lot of people go to the pumpkin patch. It's a huge opportunity for you.
Yeah, our church is selling pumpkins. But I think it's the adults, you know, you get a lot of stuff, but it's the kids. Think about how you can get plugged into just riding that wave. I want to switch gears here and talk a little bit about what we're doing. You know, September right around the corner here, and we got two great events happening in September. One we've already mentioned is the NBM Columbus show, and if you're in that area, we certainly want to welcome. The next one is something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the first Sublimation Summit. And this is just a who's who in the sublimation industry. I'll be teaching there along with Sprite, and I've got to work on my class this weekend. So this is happening, I think, September 23rd and 24th. It's a two-day event, although I talked to the organizer, Cheryl Kuchek, and she is talking about all sorts of sort of early activities on Thursday before the show opens. So I've got to learn a little bit more about that. But I think she mentioned that on Thursday, Roger Wambach from Corel, which is a good friend of mine, was teaching, and he's Mr. Corel, literally wrote the book. So I want you to go check out sublimationsummit.com, and if you buy a two-day pass, enter the code Conde50, and that will save you $50 off your two-day pass. And so if it's in the Atlanta area, and of course that's a big hub for Delta, so it should be relatively inexpensive to get there. I would tell you that is going to be a fantastic event of world proportion. And so we're going to be exhibiting there. And also many of our Conde competitors, people who do things like us, will also be there exhibiting. A few will be teaching. But you've really got a who's who. So if you go there to the Sublimation Summit website, you'll be able to see the star cast of the people that will be teaching. So many of the classes are starting to fill up. So definitely don't delay. Take advantage of that, because I can tell you it's going to be an amazing event. And so unlike traditional trade shows, you know, you've got an educational component, and then most of the activity revolves around exhibits and folks really trying to sell something to you. And that's okay, we all need that. But this one is just the opposite. It's got world-class instructors that are going to load you up with education. You're going to have plenty of time to network with the other participants, and then you'll be able to see the great exhibits from vendors like ourselves. So by all means, take advantage of this opportunity, because we're gonna be there. We're gonna be delivering some amazing educational content. And I've looked at the speakers, talked to Cheryl. I'm very impressed with how this thing is going to turn out. So take advantage of that. We got a webinar, I think, coming up on the 17th of September. Seems like it's with Jimmy Lamb on pets. Is that right, Chris? I think that's right.
It is right, yes.
What are we going to show them today, Jeff?
So back to school for the little kids. We've talked about all that. How about back to the school for the big kids? You know what this means. If you've got a college kid, I'm sure you've seen some of these in their dorm room. It's for beverages.
That is the red, that is the famous
This is the
red
icon of the college
Solo
student,
cup.
yes.
Red Solo cup.
So-
and I can't count the number of times I've been asked for, do you have a hugger just for the red Solo Cup? I suppose they come in other colors because Auburn folks got orange and blue, right?
Doesn't matter. This is a universal.
That's the red one.
This is the one. So we've got a couple huggers here, and we're going to imprint them. It's a two-sided deal. I'm going to make a little sandwich with it.
So we basically got two styles of Solo Cup huggers, and one is has no bottom, and the other has a bottom.
Here, you can go on that while I'm playing over here.
Huh? Yeah. And so you'll see it right here. Got a little bottom here, and so the old flask there. So we'll see if you can see it here. Cool. So, you know, huggers are just big business. And we got a gazillion types of huggers, and this has been one of those that has constantly been asked for. And so Jeff's going to press it. Typically the way it works is substrate is face up, transfers face down, a little pro spray to tack it in place. Press it for, about a minute, something like that. 400 degrees, medium pressure, and then you want to flip it like a pancake and do the second side. Now, if you really go crazy with huggers, and why not, you know, for instance, you know, all the millennials, when they go to their weddings, they all do huggers, don't they?
They do.
They got to have a hugger. You know, that's just standard.
You didn't get married if you didn't get a hugger.
So,
it didn't happen.
Tap into those weddings. But at any rate, the point is that if you really get into doing huggers, one of the things you can do if you own a press like a George Knight DK20S, or even say you own the DC16, both of those presses are available with bottom heat. So you can, it's an attachment you can buy separately, and you put it on the bottom when you need bottom heat, and that way when you're pressing things like that, you're more than cutting in half your production time, because you're going to be able to do both sides at the same time and have really a high throughput. So, and I think we've done some videos and sessions with doing it. One of the amazing things about, good flip there, Jeff. Amazing things about doing neoprene products is the very attractive smell.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So
maybe we come up with you could bottle some of that and put it on our little air fresheners and.
yeah, bottle. I can smell it now. So they do
like
have
money.
a little bit of a pungent odor as you heat up that rubber.
One thing to remember: don't smash it too hard. And hopefully, I didn't. I like to back way off, and you're not just crushing that thing. But
yeah.
you want it to still have some life.
There's two kinds of materials that are used for huggers, and you need to be clear on this because it's a little bit tricky. Number one is neoprene, and that's what we're using here. Neoprene is sort of spongy. You're not going to kill it with pressure. But the other is scuba foam. So some of our products are made of scuba foam, so look before you buy. And if you press scuba foam, even with relatively light pressure, you're still going to smush it. It's going to go flat. So those things made of that material are going to be relatively thin, where products made of neoprene are going to be relatively thick. You can also see a difference in the texture generally if you look at it, as far as one, how it looks compared to the other. So it looks like, oh, nice, very nice. Love that sort of yellowish gold color. Quite attractive. So I think you're going to do the bottom ones. So again, you know, this is just one of those great additions. I think you could absolutely make a business strictly out of doing huggers for all the events. And again, nobody really wants a generic hugger. So, you know, how do you do it? You know, make sure it has great looking artwork. Go ahead and put it in a cup if it's cool enough there, Jeff. I guess you don't have any adult beverages in here, do you, Jeff?
No, but you could, you know, beer pong champion. I could see that happening. There it is.
That's a really nice fit too. Wow, really nice fit. So I forget what these hold. Maybe they're 16 ounce is your standard.
I think that's it.
You know, kind of cup. But you know, it's certainly ubiquitous. That's for sure.
And I read the other day, interesting tidbit. This isn't the one, but the standard one with just the little lines. Those are all measurements.
Oh,
Yeah. So something to Google.
well,
Measurements on a red Solo cup.
That's-
Each line is a different.
different ounce. Like,
Exactly.
well, how about that?
Yeah.
So you know, learn the entire history of the
Yes.
Solo cup. So right beside here is, of course, our new flask, which I'm not a drinker, but I know a lot of people are going to want one of these for Christmas. Very attractive product. I love the color. You know, it's this is that metallic kind of finish. Just really looks super. If Sprite was here, she of course could tell us all the part numbers. I don't know how she does those kind of tricks.
The huggers were Hug 20 and Hug 21.
So Hug 20 and Hug 21 are the huggers, and I guess the flask is something like Flask something another.
It's Flask 08.
Flask 08 is that. And I recommend you touch base with your Conde rep and get a sample. Start showing your clients all the kinds of gifts they can get for Christmas. So a question for you. So what are some, because Jeff operates a very successful store that really has a lot of eclectic stuff in it, and just unusual eclectic stuff. He's a magnet for the movie industry when they come to town. Now, your store is definitely off the beaten path, right?
It is.
And they'll hunt him down. And who's some of the famous folks that have been in your place
We've
recently?
had John Malkovich. We've had Vince Vaughn, Liam. What's his name? That's divorcing.
Liam Nelson?
Liam Nelson. Liam Nelson. Gosh, there's a couple others too. Musicians. We just did a photo shoot for up and coming musicians. That's in our local Mobile Bay Monthly magazine. But the staple in our store, of course, is the vintage stuff and the cool stuff. But the staples in the sublimation world: coffee mugs and coasters, sets of 4 with the stand. I sell them for $29.95. Sell out every month. Coffee mugs, $15, no brainers. A lot of pop culture references, design patterns. It's just a constant thing. So even some jewelry, some of the UniSub jewelry we sell, but coffee mugs, coasters,
So
high margin.
So for folks that are watching, you know, maybe their approach, their call to action is you need to identify these kinds of places in your community and make some products and drop them off and say, these are products that I can fulfill for you. I can do whatever design you wish, and they'll sell. And you know, we talk about the virtual inventory concept, Jeff. The virtual inventory concept is, you know, the products you buy from us are blank. And that means you can make anything you want out of them. And so when you call on these people, you're able to provide a product that is unique to them, unique to maybe the kinds of clients that visit them. Could be maybe an artist that you're putting their artwork on. And so there have been many great success stories of companies that have done this. That, you know, they're selling into particular market, and I think
you're exactly right. The art, you know, in this business, the item is worth the artwork that's on it. So you attract art. We sell a lot of contemporary art. Those artists that bring me paintings on consignment, I show them this stuff, and they go nuts. And then
that's nice.
now we've got a secondary line to where they're either buying a system or they're coming to our fulfillment department. The better the art, the better the product, the more expensive it is. So
Yeah, we say the three elements to value are number one, the substrate itself. Number two is the artwork. And then number three is your selling environment. You know, do you sell like you're at the flea market? Do you sell like you're at an upscale boutique?
Quick question. Which is the best seller, 11 or 15 ounce?
15, I'm sorry, 11 ounce.
So, interesting
For me.
question. So from a numbers game, 11 ounce sells in much higher volume. But I'll tell you that I favor the 15 ounce mug because I think it's only a little bit more money, yet it has a powerful presentation. So that would be my vote. But in general, the 11 ounce is the mug that you'll see everywhere. You know, I would say focus on the 15. One of the benefits of selling the 11 ounce mug is, Jeff, what's one of the benefits?
The mug box, which
The
should
mug
be
box.
around here somewhere. And
The mug box.
so here we go. So here, this is exactly what I sell. So the coasters, the 4 with the rack, just like that, $29.95 with whatever artwork is appropriate. The mugs, there's the box, got the little window. This just went from $15 to $22, minimum
At least
20.
20.
So you could brand it with your brand. You could put a funny saying on it that matches the mug, a holiday theme, whatever. Reorder info.
I think those are about $1, something
yeah.
like that.
Yep. So for, you know, you just went from $2.25 cost on a mug to $3.25, but you jumped $5, $6, $7 on the profit end because that's what you're going to sell at. For Christmas last year, we did some of these. I found some cheap boar's hair brushes for like a beard, and I put a little beard soap in the bottom that was handmade, a little puck, a cheap razor,
I remember that.
a little brush, and it was a shaving kit. So
How
I
much
think
do those sell for?
I sold those for $49.95. I made 6 of them. I sold all 6.
Wow.
And again, Amazon.
Probably cost you.
The razors were 50 cents. The brushes were 50 cents. The soap was $2. So
definitely under $5 for
right,
everything.
and jumped to 49 because now it's a cool little shaving kit. I can stick it in the
And
husband,
people are looking
boyfriend's,
for those
dad's
stocking
stocking
stuffers.
stuffers. Right.
Something they're looking for something they have never seen before.
Yep.
It is as personalized as you can get something off the shelf, and it is highly unlikely that the person who's receiving this gift will ever see it again. You know, there is just not. So that's the nature of, you know, some people call it mass personalization, but it's sort of an on-demand, that virtual inventory model where you're doing short run, on-demand personalization. Questions?
They just want to know where Sprite is. Sprite. Where's Sprite? Oh no, where's?
Yeah, so Sprite
Sprite's in
is
California.
in LA area, I believe.
And I'm jealous.
And of course we're all just, although she's responded, I had to send her a couple of text messages, and she responded a little bit too fast. And so I'm wondering if she's bored or something. I don't know.
I hope it's not raining or anything like that.
And certainly our prayers are with all the folks in Florida as this storm is bearing down on you. Maybe we'll have the group consciousness will get out there, and everybody will together the intention experiment.
Yes.
Everybody to stop that storm. You know, tell it to go back out. Not welcomed here. So we've had our bullseye on us for way too many times, and our prayers are with everybody in Florida. So please get out of there as you believe it's necessary to evacuate.
Oh, there's Sprite right there. Hi from sunny
Oh.
LA. Hey.
She really?
Yep.
Where?
Right here. So there's a question
Oh,
that
wow.
on the boxes, can the whole box be subbed? Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to show you the whole.
Every single part. Sprite. Wow.
So these are flat, of course, and then you just fold it together. And you have the option to put the window in or not. It's up to you.
I personally would leave it without the window, would be mine, but each to his own. So Sprite, how we doing out there? We're obviously not doing as good as if you were here, but we're trying to carry the flag, carry the torch here. Jeff's doing a great job. Trying to think of other things. Need your help with names. So we're still working on names for our new drinkware, and I know some people have come up with some names. Still haven't found the perfect name yet. So still out there on the hunt. I think I'm driving our marketing people crazy with
Well, as
this.
popular as they are, they're going to sell out before we name them. So
You know,
hey,
I
we
would,
could fix
I
that
would
problem
suspect
quick.
that's true. We've been using them at home and around here, and they are just of a quality grade that is spectacular.
This would go great with your stadium cushion for the football game tonight. Stadium cushion, your drink bottle.
My wife would love that.
Yep.
You take the straw out, close it up, seal it. These have the really fancy lids on them, where you can shut that thing tight. I think Sprite hasn't still forgiven me for knocking this across the room with her tea in there. So Sprite, I hope you're having a good time out there in LA. So let's see, other things. If Sprite were here, she could tell us some winners. I apologize, we don't have that. Just to reiterate, and we'll go ahead and close, is the SG800 is going to run a little bit longer. Again, the salespeople bugged the you-know-what out of me to get a date out of me when I'm going to turn it off. I have not decided yet. But I'll tell you one thing, I may be forced to turn it off, and you know why?
We may run out of them.
We may run out of printers. So we have sold several truckloads of these critters, and of course it's a great printer. Recommend the bypass tray, and so I'm watching the numbers closely to try to figure out how you can pull the rabbit out of the hat, and because it is very important to us that you have a quality machine.
And look, if you bought one as a backup, that's a great idea, fantastic idea. If you just can't get there financially to get the backup printer, I got something else for you. If you've recently purchased an 800 within, say, the past 11 months, you can get the extended warranty. But it is a time-sensitive purchase.
I'd forgotten about that, so just to reiterate, so the SG400 and 800 all have available an extended warranty that must be purchased within 11 months of the original purchase date. And what it does, it just adds another year on to the manufacturer's warranty. And so for the 800, I would recommend buying the extended warranty. 400, I think it's a little bit of a toss-up. Probably wouldn't buy it. But with the 800, you know, that's a nice enough printer where probably that little bit of money gives you some peace of mind for that first and second year. So take that advice for what it's worth. The bypass tray, to me, is an absolute needed accessory. The printer out of the box will print 11.75 by 17 inches. So we actually sell paper that's 11.75. And that gives you a full bleed 11 inches, which is important for some people. So without the bypass tray, 11.75 by 17. You add the bypass tray to it, it's going to print a little bit wider, prints 13 inches. The length is variable. The largest cut sheet size that I've cut paper to is 13 by 21. That is my favorite because many people have a DK20S or another 16 by 20 press. So you're maxing out one of those dimensions, especially important when you're doing shirts. So the old standard was 13 by 19. 13 by 19 just does not make sense with a 16 by 20 press. So you can continue buying 13 by 19 paper forever, but certainly I would recommend the 13 by 21 paper to really max out the potential. We do sell roll paper for the printer. Now the roll paper, there is no roll paper mode for an SG800. So what you do is you run the printer in what I would call banner mode, meaning you define a custom paper size that's say 13 by, say, I don't know, 30 or 40 inches. And that's good for people that are doing items like a necktie, lanyards, and things like that, things that are very long. It's not trivial to do, but it can be done with mere mortals. I do have videos on showing you how to do it. If you want to do it, you can call. A good handful of people were doing these things with the 400, buying the bypass tray for some of the ginormous socks. So I saw them doing it for those really long, tall, what are they called? Knee socks, things like that. So at any rate, if you come up with an idea and you want to know how to do it, can't promise that I know how to do it, but maybe I do, or maybe I know someone who knows how to do it.
Hey, real quick, David, Facebook is kind of in an uproar because we did select a winner of the naming contest. So we just want to reiterate that the winner of the naming contest is not our final selection. It was, you know, they were all great ideas and we appreciated the creativity. But even though one was chosen as the winner, that's not the final.
Yeah, so what we did is we sort of did a award to was it, you know, one person or one person just for participating in our naming contest. We're going to continue a little bit longer, still looking for that perfect name, but we want to go ahead and thank one person for being part of our we'll call it our naming committee. So we're gonna thank you there. But you know, keep going. We're looking for some just that magic name. I think we'll find it. I think it's out there because this is such a great product line for us. So we do appreciate your continued support on this. So give us your ideas.
And remember, it's the season for rapid growth.
Oh, it is. And so
Go on up. That's
part of that is being prepared for growth, and that's why I started all sorts of specials early so that you'll be great. I mean, we love our Black Friday week specials around here, and I'm sure our folks are going to come up with all sorts of great things, but that's a little bit too late to tap into the Christmas season. You need to have already hit the ground running really hard, planting those seeds, making those samples, working on your sales and marketing strategy. And for new folks, you got to have some time to practice. After all, I don't think any of us learned to drive by getting on the interstate.
No.
You know, day one, minute one. It took time to get familiar with everything, practice. You know, what I tell people is there's really three things you got to do to be successful with sublimation. Number one is you need to make stuff at the computer that people want. And the better your artwork, the more exciting, the more innovative, especially if you target that artwork for a particular client base, a niche out there, something like that. I've seen some of his vintage. They're not really vintage. They're more of, what do you call them, retro, or I don't know. But they're cool looking 70s kind of stuff. Is that
50s, 60s,
50s kind of stuff. And obviously, you know, people know it when they see it and they go, wow, I love it. But you got to be able to do that. And then number two is the sublimation process itself. And if you're new to it, the Sublimation Summit's going to be a great way for you to get it plugged in. My first class is going to be Take the Printer Out of the Box class. And we're going to set it up. We're going to walk things through, do some pressing. So that's a great way. I know a lot of folks, Jeff, that their printer's still in the box.
Talk to them at every trade show.
You know?
Can't make money with a printer
and you
in
know,
the box.
and obviously they've got something to get over. We've got to help them push beyond their challenges, whatever. So that class is going to do it. But it's the process. We've got lots of resources. And then finally, perhaps the most important component is that sales and marketing strategy. You know, what's your strategy? How do you price your products? We got great worksheets to help you there. Who are you going to sell to? You know, how are you going to sell to them? So this time of year, a great resource, as Jeff talked about, is those silent auctions. Many organizations are going to have some sort of fundraising, and a silent auction allows you to put your product in front of everybody. They're going to talk about you. Need to show them how beautiful. It could be a beautiful stacked metal print.
Yep.
You know, you name it.
Your job is to put the right product in front of the right customer at the right price. And once you hit that sweet spot, it's time to roll with it.
Yep, and the linen. You know, I put before the broadcast, I brought a linen up. The linen is the product that it's one of my first loves of the new products that we've had. It is so beautiful with its placemat, with the bags, apron, now the garden flags, the beautiful coaster. I love the coaster. It's just beautiful, double-sided. You know, as we roll into the fall season, Halloween, Thanksgiving, just think of all the products that you can sell into that market. Any questions before we close?
Can you use a roll with the 400, the paper roll, I'm assuming?
So the question is can I use a roll of paper with 400? And basically no, but there is a workaround. And that is you can run the printer in banner mode. And so we sell an 8.5 inch wide roll. You would peel off the amount of paper you need. Maybe it's 20 inches, could be 30 inches, and you cut it. And then at your computer, you're going to define a custom paper size. You need the bypass tray, and then you're going to send the job to it. You're going to get an error because it tries to feed the paper, so don't worry about it. Then you're going to push the piece of paper in there, and it should start picking up at that point in time, grabbing the paper and running it through. It's not trivial to do, but you can do it, and it allows you to do those extended length products. Now, to my knowledge, there's not too many extended length products, so you wouldn't use it to gang up products. You would use it truly if you had to, you know, decorate a long product. Now, there are some people that after you can, like a lanyard, you could pro spray the paper and smooth it out, and then you can run it through your press in sections. So there are ways to do it. It's not a perfect process. It's not a trivial process, but with a little practice, like most things, it can be done.
Will the SSV17 be offered in different colors?
What's an SS?
That's one of the bottles.
B17.
I think it's
Is one of
one
the
of-
new one. So the colors for our new drinkware in general are white and silver. Some people call silver clear. And those are really your ideal sublimation colors because you can, using our SubliWrap, the SubliShrink technology, you can decorate this, everywhere, top to bottom all the way around. And so you can change the color to make it any color you want. It's the same on these. I need to ask Bright what her thinking is. Can you go all the way down? But I think you can, where you're going to sublimate everywhere. But the point is that the magic of sublimation in general allows you to change the color of the product. I think I know what you mean, and there are some very attractive colors that I've seen some mugs that were made of that color. But for the most part, probably the go-to strategy is you just print the paper with the color you want it to be.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we hope everybody has a great long weekend. And if you're on the fence regarding the SG800, now's the time to order it. and take advantage of this amazing special. To see the price, you go to our website. You can pick out which one you want. There's one that have the standard inks in it, one that have the extended capacity inks. The extended capacity inks lower your cost of ownership. I think it's like 28% or something is what your savings on ink is. And you pick one or the other. There is an EasySubli ink bundle. My opinion is that you should buy the SubliJet-HD. That is what Sprite and I have had just a great success using the EasySubli vinyl. So I would buy either the standard SubliJet-HD bundle or the high capacity. You would buy the high capacity pretty much if you already were doing sublimation, you already had a track record. If you buy the standard one, you can mix and match the extended ink. So as one ink runs out, like the black for instance, you could buy the extended ink cartridge for the black and put that in. So it's a very flexible architecture, and the folks at Sawgrass have done it right. Pretty much we're going to cover whatever base you're on, from folks that really aren't into graphic software, use the Creative Studio, for professionals that are Corel folks or Mac folks, whatever. So no matter where you're coming from, we've got you covered. I did have one more thing. I was trying to think of other things we've done this week. For our Creative Studio folks out there, that is a cloud-based designer that is maintained by Sawgrass. One of the challenges for those folks has been templates. So Sawgrass adds and builds the templates into the software, which is really one of the benefits of it. But for the new products, they're in a hold mode while they're upgrading the software, and of course Creative Studio is free. You get a lifetime license with your printer. But at any rate, it's missing many of the templates for the new products. The solution for Creative Studio folks is download the template from our website and open it. It's a zip file, and you'll see a PNG version of the template. That's what you can use in Creative Studio. So Andy Taylor produced a video that shows you how to use a PNG template in Creative Studio. That's the ticket. You're going to be producing the products right there for Creative Studio. So PNG, they're going to have a transparent background, pretty much any program. That's also the ticket for Silhouette folks as well, kind of stuff. So if you're Silhouette folks, most of them are using the Business Edition. You're good to go. But now we've got a great solution for our templates. You know, you want to do like the watch bands, that kind of stuff. So take advantage of that. Sprite, I'm sure will be back with us next Friday. But till we get together again, thank you and have a great long weekend. Happy Labor Day.